Paul McCartney, the voice of yesterday, the dreamer behind Hey Jude, and the storyteller who turned ordinary streets into timeless songs like Penny Lane. From packed arenas to global stages, his music has defined generations. But imagine this. Instead of standing on stage, Paul steps onto a double-decker bus in Liverpool, microphone in hand, ready not to sing but to guide. What if Paul McCartney was a tour guide in Liverpool? Picture it. The greatest songwriter of his generation wearing a tour guide jacket, greeting tourists with that mischievous Liverpudlian smile. The bus rattles past the familiar landmarks, Penny Lane, Strawberry Fields, the Cavern Club, and Paul begins to tell stories only he could share. Some passengers whisper in disbelief, "Is that really Paul McCartney showing us around?" He chuckles, spins the mic like a guitar, and says with a wink, "Fasten your seatbelts. This tour's gonna be a hit." In today's episode of What If Celebrities, we explore the funny, nostalgic, and unforgettable question: what if Paul McCartney was a tour guide in Liverpool? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and tell us in the comments which celebrity you'd like to see in an ordinary job next. The bus engine rumbles to life at Liverpool Lime Street Station. Tourists shuffle aboard, eyes darting around for the guide. And then, from the driver's seat, a familiar voice says, "All right, mates. Welcome aboard. Fasten your seatbelts if you can find them. I'll be your driver, your guide, and maybe even your jukebox. It's Paul McCartney. Not Sir Paul of Wembley, not the Beatle on Ed Sullivan, but Paul in a crisp tour guide jacket, mischievous grin on his face." Gasps echo through the bus as passengers realize what's happening. Some whisper, "This can't be real." Paul laughs and waves his hand. "Oh, it's real. Today, no stadiums, no flashing lights. Just me, my city, and a story or two. And if you listen closely, you might learn where it all began." The bus lurches forward, heading toward the first stop. Paul hums a tune under his breath, tapping the steering wheel in rhythm. A loop is opened. Where did he write his very first song? The answer, he promises, will come later. The bus stops at a street sign, Penny Lane. Tourists scramble for photos, but Paul waves them closer. "Funny thing," he says. "We wrote a song about this street, but most people don't know the half of it." He points to the barber shop on the corner. "See that? That's where I'd sit, watching folks come and go. One day I thought, why not write a song about the ordinary things?" And that's how Penny Lane was born. Ordinary places, extraordinary memories. The bus moves on, and soon they arrive at Strawberry Fields. Paul grows quieter. This place, it wasn't about strawberries, really. It was a home for children. John used to sneak in here as a lad. He'd climb the trees, dreaming of a world beyond. Later, it became part of his song and part of ours. Tourists sit in silence, feeling the weight of his words. Paul adds with a sly grin, "But don't worry, mates. I'll tell you later which corner of Liverpool gave me my very first song. Keep guessing." Another loop, curiosity tightens its hold. Next stop, a dark alley, neon lights flickering. At the end stands the legendary Cavern Club. Paul gestures dramatically. "Here's where we made a racket long before anyone cared. We were just a bunch of kids sweating under these brick arches, playing rock and roll like our lives depended on it." He tells of smoky nights, screaming fans, and endless sets. "Sometimes we played so many hours I forgot which day it was. But inside here, the Beatles became, well, the Beatles." A tourist dares to ask, "Paul, did you know then you'd change the world?" Paul chuckles. "No, we just wanted a pint and maybe a sandwich after the gig. The world-changing bit came later." The group laughs, but Paul leans in. "Oh, and about that first song I mentioned? We're getting closer. Keep your ears open." The bus slows near a modest brick house on Forthland Road. Paul parks, steps out, and waves everyone inside. "This is it. My childhood home. Tiny kitchen, cramped rooms, but magic lived here." He points to the corner of the living room. "That's where I wrote I Lost My Little Girl. First song I ever wrote, right there. I was just a teenager fumbling with chords. Didn't know then that songs could change lives." He guides the group further, stopping at John Lennon's house. "Here's where John and I first wrote together. Two lads scribbling lyrics, trading melodies. We didn't know what we were starting. We just knew it felt right." The tourists glance at each other, goosebumps rising. The loop is closed. the mystery of Paul's first song finally revealed. But Paul smiles knowingly. He still has one last surprise in store. The bus ride ends at Liverpool's Pier head, the Mersey River glistening under the setting sun. Paul steps off, gazing at the skyline. He turns to the group with a rare softness in his voice. You know, Liverpool isn't just a city to me. It's the rhythm of my life. Every brick, every pub, every corner. Part of a song, part of a memory. The Beatles may have traveled the world, but it all started here. Just boys with guitars, and dreams bigger than this river. He pauses, watching the tourists soak in the moment. People often ask, what's the secret behind the songs? Truth is, there's no secret. It's love, loss, laughter, and Liverpool. Always Liverpool. The crowd applauds, some with tears in their eyes. Paul waves and grins. And now, dear viewer, it's your turn. Which celebrity would you like to see living an ordinary life? Leave it in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Because reality may be ordinary, but in imagination, anything is possible.